Hello, wonderful story explorers, and welcome to a place where imagination knows no bounds and every page holds a new adventure. Have you ever wondered what makes a tale truly unforgettable? What brave heroes, curious creatures, or enchanted lands capture our hearts and minds? Well, today we're embarking on a magical journey to discover just that. Get ready to snuggle in, because we're diving into the top 10 kids' stories that have enchanted children for generations, sparked dreams, and taught us timeless lessons.
Once upon a time, a tortoise lived on his own terms in a jungle. He was quiet, polite, and non-interfering. In the same town lived a hare who loved to talk about the many awards he had won for always finishing first in a race. One day he approached the tortoise and said, "Why don't you learn to walk faster? If you do, we can race someday." The tortoise only smiled at him and moved on. The hare was in a wicked mood. Every day he would approach the tortoise at the same place and pass the same comment. One fine day, when the hare challenged him again, the tortoise replied, "All right, I accept the challenge." He looked around and saw the other jungle animals clapping their hands and cheering him on. A few days later, the race began. The entire jungle came to a standstill to see the result of this great challenge. When the race began, the hare overtook the tortoise within no time. His speed was remarkably high, making him cover a considerable distance on the track. When he looked back and saw how far behind he had left the tortoise, the hare decided to stop running and rest for a while. He lay down under a huge banyan tree on one side of the track. The lovely shade of the leaves sent him into a deep slumber. Meanwhile, the tortoise ran slowly without giving up and stopping. As time passed, he gradually caught up with the hare, who was still sleeping. The tortoise crossed by him and continued moving towards the winning line. Slowly but surely, the tortoise reached the finish line and won the race. The entire town started clapping for the tortoise. The loud cheers woke up the hare from his deep sleep. He woke up not realizing what had happened. He rubbed his eyes and thought, "Gosh, the tortoise must still be struggling." The hare got up and dashed towards the winning post. When he got there, he saw that to his surprise, the tortoise was wearing the victory crown, and all the other animals were congratulating him. The tortoise saw the hare from a distance and smiled at him. The hare sat down, regretting the action that made him lose the race against the slowest animal in the jungle. The Monkey and the Crocodile. A kind monkey lived in a rose apple tree by a river. He became friends with a crocodile and regularly shared sweet rose apples with him and his wife across the river. The crocodile's wife grew jealous and wanted to eat the monkey's heart, believing it would be sweet from the fruit. She pretended to be very sick, claiming only a monkey's heart could save her. The foolish crocodile invited the monkey to his home, offering a ride on his back. In the middle of the river, the crocodile confessed his plan to kill the monkey for his heart. The quick-witted monkey stayed calm. He tricked the crocodile by saying, "My heart? Oh, I usually leave it behind in the tree. Turn back now and I'll fetch it for your wife." The stupid crocodile believed him and swam back to the tree. The monkey immediately jumped to safety. He looked down and called the crocodile the biggest fool in the world for being ready to betray a friend and then being tricked so easily.
The Puppy and the Well. A mother dog warned her playful pups not to go near the old well. But one curious pup couldn't resist. He began to climb the stone wall of the well, his little paws scrambling for purchase. Reaching the top, the pup looked down into the water and saw his own reflection. Thinking it was another pup copying his actions, he started barking angrily at it. Getting angrier still, the pup barked louder, growling at the image in the water. In a fit of rage, the pup jumped into the well to confront his reflection, splashing into the cool water. Immediately, the pup realized his mistake as he began to sink, his eyes wide with fear and surprise. Luckily, a kind farmer heard the splashes. He quickly came over and began to lower a wooden bucket into the well. The farmer carefully pulled the rope, rescuing the wet and startled pup in the bucket. Safely back on the ground, the relieved pup, a little wiser from his adventure, shook himself dry.
The Lion and the Mouse. One sunny afternoon, a big, strong lion lay sleeping in the jungle. Along came a tiny mouse scampering over sticks and leaves, and by accident, he ran across the lion's paw. The lion awoke with a loud roar and quickly caught the little mouse beneath his big paw. "Please, mighty lion, spare me," squeaked the mouse. "If you let me go, I promise to repay your kindness one day." The lion laughed, thinking, "How could this tiny creature ever help me?" But he was feeling generous, so he lifted his paw and let the mouse go free. A few days later, the lion was prowling the jungle when he was trapped in a hunter's net. He struggled and roared, but the ropes held tight. The mouse heard his roars and rushed to his aid. "Don't worry, dear lion. I'll help you." The mouse began gnawing through the ropes with his sharp little teeth, and before long the lion was free. The lion looked down at his tiny friend in amazement and gratitude. "Thank you, little mouse. I see now that even the smallest friend can make a big difference." And from that day on, the lion and the mouse were friends for life, proving to everyone that kindness is always returned in unexpected ways.
Keep your eyes open. Once upon a time, there was a lion that grew so old that he was unable to kill any prey for his food. So, he said to himself, "I must do something to stay my stomach, else I will die of starvation." He kept thinking, and at last an idea clicked him. He decided to lie down in the cave pretending to be ill, and then whosoever will come to inquire about his health will become his prey. The old lion put his wicked plan into practice, and it started working. Many of his well-wishers got killed. But evil is short-lived. One day, a fox came to visit the ailing lion. As foxes are clever by nature, the fox stood at the mouth of the cave and looked about. His sixth sense worked, and he came to know the reality. So, he called out to the lion from outside and said, "How are you, sir?" The lion replied, "I am not feeling well at all, but why don't you come inside?" Then the fox replied, "I would love to come in, sir, but on seeing all footprints going to your cave and none coming out, I would be foolish enough to come in." Saying so, the fox went to alert the other animals.
The Fox and the Grapes. A hungry fox once looked everywhere for food. He couldn't find anything until he stumbled upon a farmer's wall. He saw big, purple, juicy grapes. He jumped as high as possible to reach the grapes. No matter how many times he tried, he failed. Finally, he gave up and went home, thinking to himself that the grapes must have been sour anyway. Morale of the story: nothing comes easy. Do not hate what you can't have. The Milkmaid and Her Pail. Molly was a milkmaid whose job was to milk cows and sell milk. She used to daydream about the things she would buy with the money that she did not have right now. One day she was going to the market carrying her pail full of milk. As she was on her way, she saw a chicken and started daydreaming about buying a chicken and selling its eggs. She started to dream that other milkmaids would be very jealous of the things Molly got from selling eggs and milk. Then she spilt all the milk from the pail in the excitement of her dream. She went back to her home with an empty pail and no money with her. Her mother asked her the reason behind this incident. Molly told her the whole story, whereafter her mother preached that she should not count her chickens until they hatched.
Coco the puppy. One cold, rainy day in the bustling market, a little puppy named Coco got lost. Wet and terrified, he hid behind a shop, shivering uncontrollably. A kind boy noticed the tiny, scared puppy. He gently offered Coco some biscuits and immediately brought the puppy home to his warm, safe house. Determined to find the owners, the boy made and posted signs with Coco's picture all around the neighborhood. Just 2 days later, an overjoyed family spotted a poster. It was Coco's family. The reunion was full of happy tears and gratitude for the kind boy. Coco was finally home, and he and the boy became the very best of friends, promising to visit each other often. The Talking Birds. Once upon a time, nestled deep within a vibrant green forest, lived a happy family of birds, 2 chirpy youngsters and their wise parents. These weren't just any birds. They were special, for they could speak. One sunny day, while the parents were out foraging, a cunning villager, who had long observed these extraordinary creatures, stealthily approached their nest. With a swift movement, he managed to ensnare both young birds in his trap and carried them away. But as he journeyed through the dense woods, one of the birds, with a burst of desperate energy, managed to slip free from the villager's grasp. Fluttering away, it desperately searched for its parents, its little heart pounding with fear and hope. After a long and arduous flight, the bird, exhausted but relieved, stumbled upon a peaceful hermitage. There, it was met with a warm welcome and offered delicious food. Finding solace and kindness, the bird settled into its new home and lived joyfully, learning gentle ways from the kind hermit. Meanwhile, the other bird remained captive with the villager. Its new companion was rough and harsh, and soon the bird began to mimic the villager's coarse manners and rude speech. Sometime later, an adventurous explorer, wandering through the forest, chanced upon the villager and his caged talking bird. The bird, influenced by its captor, spoke to the explorer in a very ill-mannered way. The explorer was utterly astonished to hear a bird speak, but his amazement quickly turned to anger at the bird's disrespectful demeanor. Curiosity leading him onward, the explorer soon found himself at the hermitage. To his surprise, he discovered another talking bird, remarkably similar to the one he had just encountered. However, this bird greeted him with utmost respect and offered him a warm welcome, inviting him to stay as long as he wished. The explorer couldn't help but notice the stark difference in their behavior. The Two Friends and the Bear. Once upon a time, two friends found themselves journeying through a dense, emerald jungle. Sunlight dappled through the canopy, painting shifting patterns on their path as they walked. Suddenly, a massive brown bear emerged from the undergrowth, lumbering towards them with surprising speed. Panic seized their hearts. In a flash, one friend, consumed by fear, scrambled up the nearest sturdy tree, leaving his companion alone on the jungle floor. The other friend, quick-witted and desperate, remembered an old tale. He immediately dropped to the ground and pretended to be dead, holding his breath, hoping the bear would lose interest. The great bear approached cautiously, sniffing around the motionless man. It nudged him, then snorted, and after a moment turned and ambled back into the depths of the forest, disappearing from sight. Once the danger had truly passed, the friend in the tree cautiously descended. He rushed over to his companion, filled with curiosity and a touch of shame. "What did the bear tell you?" he asked, eager to know what secrets the beast might have whispered. The friend on the ground slowly rose, looking his friend directly in the eye, and replied, with a profound look, "The bear warned me to beware of fake friends."